What's up, everybody? Just doing a little late night poker study. Going over the Super High Roller Bowl from last year in preparation for my trip to Bahamas. And this hand struck me, so I thought I'd share it. Bill Perkins was chip leader in this tournament for most of the way. He gets down to 288,000 after losing a bunch of hands, and that's relevant because um, when a guy gets short, especially he's not a professional poker player, it's gonna make him a little bit more. I don't know if you want to call him tilted or whatever, but a lot less likely to fold a strong hand like King Queen of Hearts. So in this hand, we got Bill Perkins who raises with King Queen of Hearts to 25K on a 288,000 stack, which is pretty standard, right? Now the interesting thing comes up here with Rainer Kempe, who is the ultimate winner of this tournament. So he picks up 8-9 of hearts and he 3-bets, right? To 70,000. I think this is pretty strange, to be honest with you, for a lot of reasons, right? Based on Perkins' stack size, you're putting in 70,000. If Perkins moves in, you're essentially saying, what? You're going to call it off with 9-8 of hearts, or are you just going to lay it down? So if you're laying it down, you're putting in 70,000. It's going to cost you another 210 to call. Getting a pretty decent price, as it turns out. If against the King Queen of Hearts, you'd be getting the right price. So I don't know that I love the 3-bet. I think against Bill Perkins, if you want to see flops with him in this case when he gets short, I think it's fine to call with the 8-9 of hearts. I don't like the 3-bet in this situation. If Bill Perkins was much deeper, I get it. It makes a lot more sense that you'd want to do that. But in this case, with just 288, a lot of the time Bill's just going to shove or he's going to fold pre, which, is the desired result, obviously. But I think I like his choice least out of all three options. Now, for Bill Perkins, he's got a tough decision here. We are playing shorthanded. He is obviously a little steaming because he's lost a bunch of chips. He went down to 288,000, as I said. And a King Queen of Hearts is too strong of a hand for him to fold for another 45,000. So he's going to make this call, and they're going to go to a flop. So they go to this flop, and then the flop comes King 7-6, right, with Rainbow. So in this case, if you're Bill Perkins and you've got 200,000 left, your play should be with your entire range of hands is check. This is such a dry board that you should never be betting. The only time you should, what is he trying to represent that he has? Like 2 10s, 2 9s that he didn't ship before the flop, ace queen, and says screw it. As it turns out, he actually, has a king. He's not bluffing. He's got a good hand, but this is a spot where there's nothing to protect against, right? A lot of times when you go all in on a flop, you're doing it because you want to protect against what comes on the turn. But King 7-6 Rainbow, your only card you're worried about is an ace. Chances are, if you check, Rainer's going to bet this flop all day, twice on Sunday. So you can go ahead and check, face a bet, and then ship the rest in if you like, or, decide to slow play it further. But definitely you don't want to just lead. This is a mistake that a lot of amateurs make. They flop the top pair and lead into the pre-flop 3-better. This is a spot where you should, I would say, with very, very few exceptions, you always want to check. Now, he puts Rainer in a spot where he can actually get away now, right? This is the only way this hand wasn't going to get all the chips in on this flop. Because if he checked with 8-9 suited and open-end straight draw, Rainer has plenty of outs to go ahead and bet and then call off a raise. But now he's got to call the 217, and he's getting less than 2-1 in a spot where he probably doesn't think his 9 or 8 is good. If he thinks his 9 or 8 is good, if he catches one, he probably has to call here. But he probably, ultimately thinks he's probably got a 5 or a 10 as an out and maybe backdoor hearts, and it's not enough to call. So Bill Perkins is going to win this pot, but he's going to win the minimum. He should have checked, faced the bet, and then, but you know what? The downside of that, of course, as I say this, is you could lose the pot too, right? But sometimes you have to be willing to take those kind of risks where you let a free card come off, or, you got to take a race when you're, as you can see there, it says he's 67% favorite to win this pot. You want to get your chips in at 67% favorite pretty consistently. I understand in tournament poker, you're looking to protect what's there a lot of the time and survive, but 67%, bro. This is a spot where, you're not on near the money bubble, really. You just got to go with it. So, lesson learned, people. Like, if a guy 3-bets you, comes a dry board, don't lead into him. It's very difficult to be balanced in terms of your range, like, of having enough bluffs and all that. It's just a check all day, twice on Sunday, as I said. Peace out, everybody.